Joining me right now is New York Congressman and member of the House Oversight, Agriculture, and Rules Committees, Nick Langworthy. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks for being here. What have you learned in the Oversight Committee in terms of what the Biden family was being paid for? I mean, what did China pay for?
It's very unclear because no one in the Biden family has any expertise, technical or otherwise, that would tie into a Chinese CCP-based energy company. So really, your mind immediately goes to it was simple influence peddling. I mean, this week we saw 2,000 pages of suspicious activities reports at the Treasury Department. Members of our committee went there, and poured through these documents. Now 6 additional Biden family members are tied into this and are being looked into. So this is a very troubling, web here. It looks like a crime family because no one, as I said before, has any technical expertise that the companies in China would need. And this money was transferred directly into those bank accounts.
Who are the other Biden family members?
Well, it's not clear quite yet, and there's things that we can't exactly talk about. But we have now a series of family members, and this is going into generations of the Biden family. And then there was one bank account, if you remember back to the original uncovering of this situation, that was just labeled Biden. So does that go back to the president himself? And I think the American people are owed those answers, and that's why we're doing this work on the House Oversight Committee under the leadership of our chairman, James Comer, to really go and find these answers. And this whistleblower coming forward is exactly, what the American people need to get some additional answers as to why there's 2 tiers of justice here in this country.
Well, Kayleigh, I want you to jump in because what I'm wondering is, were they given an easy pass in terms of CFIUS? Were they given the go-ahead to buy land in America? Were they given the go-ahead to acquire oil companies in America? What are they paying for?
Yeah, and Congressman, we know that James Comer has said before that there could be as many as 11 other business deals that the Biden family struck with CCP-owned companies. So my question for you is, when are we going to get more information on those other potential business deals? And do you guys have any idea or indication of what those business deals might have involved?
Well, as we go through this suspicious activities report this week, we continue to go and dig further and further and further. And it appears what we uncovered last month is just the tip of the iceberg. There's much more to see here. There's much more to dig into. But this is a web that just continues to go and go. And I mean, there's so much smoke around Hunter Biden that there has to be a raging inferno. And the fact that the president of the United States continues to trot him around, take him to Ireland, put him on display as someone that's a blatant influence peddler is an insult to the American people and shows that there is corruption alive and well in the White House.
And is that the reason that all of this aggressive behavior from Beijing is met with no response from Joe Biden?
It's utter silence.
I mean,
it's utter silence.
No.
It's insulting.
They keep saying we do not seek conflict with China. That's their only answer. The Daily Caller reported that one of the alleged Chinese operatives who was arrested for running and operating that secret police station in New York City, he was actually pictured meeting with several top New York Democrats at campaign events, including Mayor Eric Adams, including Senator Chuck Schumer. Okay, so the guy who set up the police station is hanging out with Democrats at events. The Gatestone Senior Institute fellow Gordon Chang joined me yesterday, calling on the administration to take this threat seriously. Watch this.
We should be making arrests. We should be closing China's 4 consulates in the U.S. because they've been involved in violating our sovereignty, and we should be stripping the embassy in Washington just down to the ambassador. We do not need these elements in the U.S. not only committing acts of subversion, but some of these consulates have been engaged in acts of war.
And that's what Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo did, Congressman. I remember a string of indictments under Trump and Pompeo where Pompeo shut down the Houston embassy. He shut it down because he saw that there was surveillance. That's what it was, a surveillance office.
We are met with utter silence from the Biden administration. China doesn't respect any of our sovereignty. They flew a balloon over our country that we saw with the naked eye. They don't respect our southern border. They're killing our residents with their deadly fentanyl that pours into this country. They're committing espionage every single day in America, yet the Biden administration's silent. And you have to go back to what we first were talking about to ask the question, why? Is the Biden family compromising the American people to deserve to know if our president's on the take?
Mark, very troubling.
Yeah, and Maria, you asked a question, what are they potentially being compensated for? And the number one thing that we're seeing out of this administration so far has been their attack on the fossil fuel industry and their unreasonable push to force EVs on everyone. And that causes me to wonder, well, China's got the lithium, they've got the cobalt. Is that part of what's going on here? Again, I'm just completely speculating there.
Because all the stuff is produced in China, Congressman. The batteries, 100%. The solar panels.
They have the corner on all of these markets, and meanwhile, we can't even mine for the rare earth minerals that we have in the United States that we could use to produce that battery technology right here. And that's what we're trying to do as a House majority, to get past this, to put curbs on the Chinese. We started the Select Committee. It's doing its work, and it's uncovering these facts so the American people actually have some of these facts available to them.
So are you gonna move to remove the most favored nation status on trade that Beijing holds?
I think that's got to be on the table. Everything's got to be on the table. We need, and this is going to be part of the presidential election, that are we going to let China basically run our country, or are we going to get tough again?